Hi guys. I have a little surprise for you. I am going to read you a bedtime story. It's Horton Hatches the Egg. It's a Horton story. So, before I start reading, it's very important. You guys need to be good listeners. You need to do exactly what Mommy tells you to do. You need to be calm, and you need to listen. Because it's just a video, and I'm pretty well just talking to myself right now. So I won't know if you're not listening or not. I can't stop. So I'm just going to read the book. And if you guys can't handle it, Mommy will turn the video off. Okay? Love you guys. Alright, so stick with me. Horton Hatches the Egg by Dr. Seuss. There's a bird. Alright. It says, sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored, and I have kinks in my leg. From sitting, just sitting, here day after day. It's work. How I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest, if I could find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. See, there's Maisie being lazy. There's her egg and her nest up in a tree. Then Horton, the elephant, passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? See, there's Horton and Maisie. Horton's walking by. The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so intense. Tut tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you could do it. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation? Go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg, and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay, and I'll be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sang Maisie, and fluttered away. So there's Horton, and the egg, and there goes Maisie flying away. The first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it much stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. There's Horton, and he's putting branches underneath the tree so that the tree doesn't break, because he's pretty big. It's silly for an elephant to be sitting on a tree. Silly Horton. Then, carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. And see, he's getting on a tree. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. He sat all that day. He kept the egg warm. And he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered, it rumbled. "This isn't much fun," the poor elephant grumbled. "I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget." See, there Horton is, and it's raining, and there's lightning. And he doesn't look very happy, does he? No. But Maisie, by this time, was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such wonderful rest. She decided she'd never go back to her nest. There she is on the beach. There's the sand, and there's a guy chilling out on an umbrella, and there she is, up in a tree, being lazy. So Horton kept sitting there, day after day, and soon it was autumn, and the leaves blew away. Then came winter, the snow and the sleet. Icicles hung from his trunk and from his feet. But Horton kept sitting, and said with a sneeze, "I'll stay on this egg, and I won't let it freeze." I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. See, it's snowing, and it doesn't look very happy. It's probably really cold. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came in the springtime, with troubles anew. His friends gathered round, and they shouted with glee, "Look, Horton the elephant, up in a tree!" They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, "How absurd! Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird!" There's all of his friends. They laughed and they laughed. Then they all ran away, and Horton was lonely. He wanted to play, but he sat on the egg and continued to say, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. See, they're going off to play. There's poor Horton, still in this tree. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far from ended. For while Horton sat there, so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. See the hunters? Hunters right there. And there's Horton. They're being really quiet, like I'm sure you guys are. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high, and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunters, as much as to say, "Shoot if you must. I will not run away. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. There's the hunters and Horton. But the men didn't shoot, much to Horton's surprise. They dropped their 3 guns and stared with wide eyes. Look, they all shouted. Can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree. It's strange. It's amazing. It's wonderful. New. Don't shoot him. We'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny. We'll send him home to a circus. For money. Those hunters aren't very nice, are they? And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad he practically cried. We're off, the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy, 100%. There's Horton, still on his tree, still sitting on the nest, still keeping that egg warm, and they're pulling him down the mountain. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, over the mountains 10,000 feet high, then down the mountains, and down to the sea, went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. You're going up the mountain. Said it was 10,000 feet high. It's pretty high. Then, out of the wagon, and onto a ship, out over an ocean. Oh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashing with spray. And Horton said, day after day, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. But, oh, I'm seasick. 100%. Horton's in the boat. He's seasick. Doesn't feel good. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just barely scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed, and then the men sold him. Here they are, they're taking him off the ship. Sold to a circus. Then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too. To Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, and Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laughed at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, and elephant's faithful, 100%. There he is at the circus. Then, one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach, and dawdling along, way up in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by? But that old, good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And, spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, what fun! Why, I'll go to the show. She's flying. See the circus? And she swooped from the clouds, through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie. I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, There rang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild alive scratching. "My egg!" shouted Horton. "My egg! Why, it's hatching!" It's hatching. "But it's mine!" screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. "It's my egg," she spurted. "You stole it from me. Now get off my nest and get out of my tree." Poor Horton packed down with a sad, heavy heart. She's yelling at Horton. That's not very nice of her, is it? But at the very instant the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces of red and white shell from the egg that he sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his. See it? It's a little baby Horton bird. And the people came shouting, "What's all this about?" They looked, and they started with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered, and they cheered, and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. "My goodness, my gracious," they shouted, "my word! It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird!" And it should be like that, because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. There's Horton and his elephant bird. And they sent him home, happy, 100%. There's Horton with all of his friends, and there he is with his elephant bird. The end. So it's a pretty good story, huh? What do you think? What did you learn from the story? Like, what's the important part of the story? Can you tell Mommy and have her give me your answers? Alright guys, I love you. Good. Go to sleep. Have a good day.